And welcome to the Breakin Broncos special, day 3 of the NFL draft. Sorry, we are a little late today. Had some technical difficulties, but we got them finally figured out. Everything seems to be stable, and we are a go. And we got some things to catch up here with all of you. Let me go ahead and get some things pulled up. I apologize again. We have been working diligently to get on. Just bear with me a moment here. Go ahead and get these picks pulled up. Fourth round is roughly halfway done here. Looks like first pick of the round was Cade Otton, tight end out of Washington, a versatile tight end, 6'5", 247. Decent athlete, more of a blocker than a receiver, but probably more of what Tampa needs, especially to replace O.J. Howard, who they lost in free agency. Then there is Damian Pierce, running back out of Florida, 5'10", 218-pounder. Really a one-cut, downhill type of runner. Really good in his own scheme, so should work well there in Houston. Perrion Winfrey finally goes off the board. I tried to give him to like 10 teams yesterday. He went number 3 overall in the fourth round, 108th, overall completely. He is just a big-bodied defensive tackle. Can play in either a 3-4 or 4-3. If you're playing in a 4-3, he needs to be on the interior. If he's playing in a 3-4, he's pretty versatile. He can play inside, outside. Really good player there out of Oklahoma. Then we have Kobe Bryant. No, not that Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Mamba. We still miss you. Spelled differently. He's a cornerback out of Cincinnati. Big body, 6'1", 200 pounds. Instinctive corner. More of a zone press kind of guy. But doesn't really have any elite top-end speed. Then we have, next up, Minnesota took offensive tackle Daniel Falala. He's a really big kid, 6'8", 384 out of Minnesota. Just a massive right tackle with exceptional height, bulk, and arm length. It's quick enough. This wouldn't have been a great pick for the Broncos. He's much more of a power scheme guy. Broncos are a zone blocking scheme. So they're in Minnesota, run a much more power-heavy scheme. So fits much better there. But even there, it's a bit of a stretch for them to try and fit him. He's just a huge offensive tackle. could, could gain some athleticism and stuff in a NFL weight room, but not sure about the fit there in Minnesota. Um, the Jets were up next at 111 overall. Took Max Mitchell out of Louisiana. And I'm sorry, Daniel Falala went to Baltimore, not Minnesota. He's from Minnesota, went to Baltimore. I apologize. Still trying to get my bearings here a little bit. It's been a little bit of a frustrating morning, but we'll get there. Spare with us. But so yes, it's actually a much better scheme. They run a power scheme, so he's definitely a fit there. Um, Again, Max Mitchell, Louisiana, University of Louisiana offensive tackle, went to the Jets. Another big guy, 6'6", 307. Nice size, good athleticism. Should be a good fit there in New York. Then we have Daniel Bellinger out of San Diego State, the tight end going to the New York Giants. Another big body tight end, 6'5", 253. Big target, natural hands catcher with bigger hands but shorter arms. So he may have a tendency to T-Rex arm or Gator arm a few passes, but it's not really because he's Gator arm. He's just got shorter arms. So you might struggle against some longer corners or safeties when it comes to that, but still pretty toolsy tight end, pretty good athleticism, and a willing blocker. That's the main thing you want out of your tight end, is at least to be willing to block. Then we have the Washington Commanders taking Percy Butler, safety out of Louisiana. Decent sized safety, 6 foot, 194. Very lean, kind of average length, but an outstanding time speed. This is another high RAS score guy, scored about a 9.5 on the RAS. Good size, but even better measurables. So really toolsy guy, raw, out of a smaller school. So get some time to develop there in Washington on a very, very, very good defense. People really need to put more respect on the Washington Commanders defense. Then next up, we have the New York Giants again at 114 overall, taking Iowa safety, had a little bit of a safety run. This is one of the picks they had obtained from Atlanta in a previous trade. They got a 6'1", 205-pound safety out of Iowa. He's very versatile. He's not just a safety. He will line up over the slot. He is a playmaker, several interceptions in college. So should be a good developmental safety at the least there for the Giants. Next up, we have our Denver Broncos, who made back-to-back picks at 115 and 116. They just stayed pat this time. No moving back, no moving up. They got Damari Mathis, a cornerback out of Pittsburgh. He's really only fell this far because of his previous injury in 2020. Kind of fell off the map, but really rebounded very well. He's got the third lowest completion percentage allowed by a primary defender in coverage since 2019. And that's according to ESPN Stats and Information. That's trailing only Cincinnati's Ahmad Gardner and LSU's Derek Stingley Jr. He's a very instinctive press cover corner, perfect for this defense, and could be an absolute steal. This is another one of those possible Paton proteges that just completely outplays his draft position. This is the totally redeeming himself type of move from that tight end that we consternated about so much yesterday. Then we have, again, the Broncos, again, picked back-to-back, 115, 116. At 116 overall, they took Ayoma Wazurike, a defensive end out of Iowa State. Big boy, 6'6", 316 pounds, a perfect, prototypical 3-4 defensive end. They didn't get the Travis Jones I wanted. They didn't get the Jordan Davis I wanted. Excuse me. Sorry. Or a couple of other guys, but this is another guy that should be a very good pickup and a bit of a steal. He's got, like I said, excellent length, 6'6", 316, the size, the body strength, all of that to set the edge and be the perfect complement to the rest of this defensive line. He loves to play in the backfield, had over 30, it was like 34 and a half tackles for loss in his career. He was a 4-year starter that got better every single year. He is another high RAS scorer. With his size and speed combination, he scored about a 9.4 in the RAS score. So, as you see, and just like and so did Damari Mathis. He was also a high score. He was a 9.6 RAS score. So, as we said before, Paton loves his freak athletes. He loves his RAS score. He figures get the things that you can't teach and then teach everything else. Then after the Broncos, we had at 117 overall Michael Clemens at a Texas A&M. Then we had a Caleb Evans. I'm sorry, Michael Clemens was a D end, a defensive end out of Texas A&M. Another big body, prototypical 4-3 defensive end, 6'5", 263, long arms, good at stacking blockers to set the edge. Is actually a little bit better at defending the run than actually defending the pass or pass rushing at this point. So needs some development there, but he can definitely set the edge and help out a Jets run defense that was one of the worst in the league. Then we have at 118 overall, the Minnesota Vikings taking a Caleb Evans, a cornerback out of Missouri. Big body, 6'2", 197, very tall and lean corner. Very good at the press and zone. So should be a good fit there in Minnesota. They like to play a lot of zone coverage and let the front four really get after him. Don't do a lot of blitzing. So he's probably not going to start right off. He is a little bit raw. Has a tendency to drop balls. That's a big reason why he's going to fall this far. He's just not much of a ball hawk. He doesn't really keep a hold of the ball when it does hit him in the hands. He has a tendency to go ahead and let him drop. Oh, we got some Paralympians. That's awesome. They are going to announce the Cowboys pick currently, which we are getting to. We're close. We're going to catch up here soon. Then we have Baltimore, Jalen Armour Davis, Alabama cornerback. Big body, 6'1", 197. He's a tall press corner with excellent top-end speed. He does a great job at matching patterns, breaks on the ball, limit yards after the catch, and is a bit of a ball hawk. Should be another steal here late in the fourth round here for the Baltimore Ravens. They love their big physical corners. They got another one. Then we have the Carolina Panthers at 120 overall, taking Brandon Smith, the inside linebacker out of Penn State. He is a rangy run defender who literally just flies around the field. He's another high RAS score guy, close to a 10 overall. But that does tend to be a bit of a double-edged sword with him. He can over-pursue. He can miss things. So, I don't know. Oh, we got another generational Wisconsin player. I guess his father, brother, and uncle have all either played in the NFL or in college. And we have next up here, though, 121 overall, New England Patriots take Jack Jones out of Arizona State, a cornerback. Smaller corner, slot corner. He's 5'11", 171. Decent quickness, quicker than fast. He's going to get burned by the Tyreek Hills and that of the world, but he can take on the Golden Tates of the world. That's more of what his job is, to take those shifty slot receivers out of the game. And he's very versatile, which we all know Bill Belichick absolutely loves. And then at 122 overall in the fourth round, the Oakland Raiders take Zamir White out of Georgia, running back, 6 foot, 214, patient, shifty inside runner. Not the greatest top end speed, but very, very physical and finishes with power. So should be able to add a little bit of extra nastiness right behind Josh Jacobs there in Oakland. Then we have Isaiah Spiller for the Los Angeles Chargers at 123 overall, a running back at a Texas A&M. Another bigger bodied running back, 6 foot, 217. He doesn't really have the greatest top end speed, but he's going to be that power back, that red zone threat on the ground that can get you the ugly yards. He's not going to bust out a 60, 70 yarder, but he's going to consistently get you 3 to 5 yards on just about every single play. Then we have Cade York. We have our first kicker off the board. Goes to the Cleveland Browns at 124 overall. He is the place kicker out of LSU. He's the top ranked kicker in the class. So, I mean, I guess there's that for you. And this is usually the range where you start seeing kickers go if they were extremely successful in college. I mean, yes, we've seen stupid moves like the Jaguars taking a punter in the second round, but this is a much more palatable place to take a top-notch kicker right here in the middle of the fourth round. All right, then we have Eric Ezukamna. Sorry, I'm gonna get that right at some point. Decent sized wide receiver out of Texas Tech, 6'2", 209. He has enough speed to threaten vertically, but it's going to be much more of a Michael Thomas possession receiver type uh, um, coming out of college there in Texas Tech. Then we have the Oakland Raiders back on the clock at 126 overall, taking Neil Farrell Jr., the defensive tackle out of LSU. Farrell is a physical run defender, is not really going to give you much juice in the passing in the pass rush. So that's going to be why he's going to be picked all the way down here in the fourth round. But he is a big body, 6'4", 330 pounds. So he's going to clog the middle, and that's what his job is. His job is not to fill up the stat sheet; it's to fill up the line and eat up blocks. That's what his job is, and he does it well. Then we have the Patriots back up at 127 overall, taking running back Pierre Strong Jr. out of South Dakota State. We all know how Bill Belichick loves his FCS players. I personally believe he takes them because he believes he can control them more. He really likes his small school prospects because they are more willing to work hard and do whatever is asked of them because they feel like, unlike the guy from LSU or Georgia, if he makes one mistake, makes the coach angry one time, he is more expendable. So that's my own personal conspiracy theory around it. I think he takes the small school guys just simply because he can control them better and they don't fight him on just doing their job. And it's worked out for him. I mean, you can't say anything really terrible about it. It sounds bad, but if it works, it works. Then we have Charlie Kolar, tight end out of Iowa State, going to Baltimore. Big guy, 6'7", 252, long arms, big hands, exploits pockets. He's not that matchup nightmare when it comes to speed, but when it comes to size, he's really good at sitting down in that zone and using that big body against defensive backs to box them out and get the tough catches in traffic. So good, hard-nosed, willing blocker, and really fits the mold of a Baltimore tight end. That's a really obvious pick of why they took him. He is a Baltimore guy. Then we have another tight end go on the next pick at 129 overall for the Cowboys, Jake Ferguson. This is the guy that I was just talking about, generational. His whole family's either went to Wisconsin or another school and played football. His dad and uncle played in the league for a little bit. 6'5", 250, natural hands catcher who does a really good job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Watched a couple of games for Wisconsin this year, and he really kind of shined, especially when it got to nasty weather. And with him going to Dallas, he doesn't have to worry about that, but that nastiness can definitely travel with him when they go outside of Jerry World, where they do have to deal with the elements. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens back on the clock at 130 overall, 25th in the round, taking punter, another kicker, Jordan Stout out of Penn State. He has the leg strength to flip the field. Not always the best when it comes to accuracy, but pretty good at downing the ball inside the 20-yard line. Looks like he averaged 46 yards per punt and placed 35 of his 67 punts inside the opponent's 20. So pretty good percentage there. Get him, and he's going to a perfect place for him. His head coach was a special teams coordinator before he became a head coach, former quarterback. So definitely a guy that understands a punter and should get the best out of Jordan Stout. The Ravens always have great kickers and great special teams units. Next up, we have the Tennessee Titans on the clock at 131 overall, taking Hassan Haskins, running back out of Michigan. Big body guy, 6'2", 228. He is just a big one-cut runner, perfect fit for a zone blocking scheme, the way that Tennessee runs the ball, and a very good complement for King Henry out there, and could be a good number two that if something happens like this past season where Derrick Henry misses half the season, they don't have to worry so much about who's going to step up, even though all their no-name guys did. Now they got another big back that can go out there and do a lot of the things that Derrick Henry can't. He's not going to bust off the 80-yard run like Henry can, but he can definitely pound the rock and get you 5 to 10 yards on a consistent basis. Then we have the Green Bay Packers at 132 overall, taking Romeo Doubs, I don't know how to say that, a wide receiver out of Nevada. He led the FBS in catches, touchdowns, and receiving yards on post routes over the past 2 seasons. There's a heck of a note. And that's according to ESPN Stats and Information. So decent length, 6'2", 201, pretty good vertical. Not the greatest RAS score. Didn't have the greatest 40 or cone time. So a little limited athletically, but always seemed to be willing to contest for the ball. Good vertical, so he can go up and get it. So more than likely he's going to start out as a good red zone threat. And Green Bay always seems to find that late inning guy that just seems to do something for A-Rod at least a couple times a game. And then the Bucks just went off the clock at 133 overall. We are finally caught up. And we have another punter go off the board, Jake Camarda out of Georgia, 6'1", 193. He was the punter in Georgia for the last 4 years, and he is the school career leader in punting average at 45.8 yards per punt. So definitely a nice, strong leg. Young kid comes in, adds a little value to the special teams there in Tampa, which their punter last year was horrible. So completely understand why they would go out and get a replacement. Next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers at pick 134. Their pick is in. Since we are finally caught up, got you with all of who is going on. And we have some people. I appreciate you. Thank you for leaving the like. Thank you very much. This is actually a birthday present from the mom. So that's where it came. So you can let mom know that you thought it was cool. I appreciate you. I like it too. And appreciate you as always, Nika, for coming in and showing some love. And let's see. I'm not going to the podium yet. While we're waiting for the next pick, I'm hungry and I have not ate. I think I'm going to order a pizza. What pizza should I order, people? Yes, she does. She does a good job. She even picked out the shirt I was wearing yesterday. Funny enough. I didn't even think about that till now. And it was, and Natrell's the one that brought me this shirt this morning. So both the mamas were in on it. I think I'm going to order some Pizza Hut. What should I order? I think maybe a taste maker, 3 topping. How about pepperoni, bacon, and jalapeno peppers? Sounds good. Nope, no extra cheese. Then I guess some buffalo wings. That should be good. Actually, no, I'll remove that. Let's go pizza. Yes, I do. Very much so. So what y'all think of my pizza? Pepperoni, bacon, and jalapeno peppers. Sounds good to me. Oh, they're gonna make me add more food because of 99. Well, here, I'll do this. Pizza Hut has fries now? When did this happen? I'm a little disturbed. They don't have fryers. They air fry them, they stick them in the pizza oven. How does Pizza Hut make fries? I must know. These are questions that must be answered. I don't understand how Pizza Hut makes fries. I'm weirded out by this. We also just had another pick come in. It is Spencer Burford, the offensive tackle out of the University of Texas, San Antonio. UTSA's got a lot of draft picks this season. Looks like that season they had wasn't so much of a fluke, and I understand why their coach got so much pub and all those offers. Let's see, 6'4", 304-pound offensive tackle. Um, Seems to be a bit of an issue with flags. He's had quite a few of them. He's got that edge that you like, but he kind of just tends to take it a step farther than he should. But overall, good athlete, good size, good speed, nice fit for his own scheme. So should work out well there in San Francisco. Then we have Joshua Williams, Fayetteville State cornerback, going to Kansas City. Big body boy, 6'3", 195 pounds, tall press corner. It's obvious that because of the moves that were made this offseason, you got the Broncos with Sutton, Judy, Patrick, Hamler. You got Oakland with Renfro and Adams. You got the LA Chargers with Williams and Allen and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's the amount of big bodied, fast wide receivers in the AFC West. This makes perfect sense to go out and get a big bodied, fast corner with long arms, big hands, and a little bit of a ball hawk there. Small school, but the production's there that you like to see from a small school where you got the big fish in a little pond just dominating. That's what Joshua Williams did at Fayetteville State. Next up, we have the Bengals on the clock, 136 overall. They're good. They are. I'm. I don't know if I trust it. I'm glad she likes them, but I did not know that they had done that blasphemy. Thank goodness. Inflation sucks, y'all. That don't make no sense. An $11 pizza, by the time fees, taxes, and everything, it's 20 freaking dollars. That's insanity, people. They have apple pies now. I could see the pies because you can cook those in the oven. I'm just curious as how they cook. Do they go and get fryers and put them in Pizza Hut now, or what's going on there? I still don't understand how in the world they cook them because I don't like oven fries. I don't like fries that come out of an oven. Uh, the best I can do is an air fryer. The least that I can do is an air fryer. Cannot do oven fries. They're just not the same. All right, Bengals pick has come in. Looks like they took Cordell Volson, offensive tackle out of North Dakota State. Get my notes up here. 6'6", 315-pounder out of North Dakota State. Looks like he played left tackle, but kind of has a little bit shorter arms than what you would like, especially out of a 6'6" guy. So probably more than likely going to be a swing tackle, maybe even be kicked into guard because of those shorter arms. But I think he could do well at a right tackle position. Got a nice, nasty demeanor that you like out of your offensive lineman. And he definitely will block through the whistle. Again, another one of those double-edged swords. You like the nastiness, but you don't want the penalties afterwards, because there's nothing worse than an offensive lineman mauling somebody and their running back taking it 80 yards down the field, but because you can't get up off your guy and you want to give him an extra little shove, that play comes back and you lose 10 yards from wherever it is that you made the penalty. So got to clean that up. But Bengals are definitely concentrated this offseason on protecting Joe Burrow after their offensive line cost them a Super Bowl. I could see an apple pie, but actually, that even actually sounds good because I love my apple pie. But I still can't do the fries. I just can't trust them. They're going to make me pay for this. Why can't food be free? All right. All right, I got to put my payment information in. Looks like we did have another pick too. Oh, not quite yet. Patriots are still waiting for them to announce. Looks like their pick is in. It just has not been made yet, or announced yet, I should say. What in the world? That helps. All right, pizza ordered. Oh, the Patriots go quarterback. Interesting. I mean, that's what they kind of do, though. They always seem to snatch up some guy in the middle rounds that they turn into some uh, preseason wonder that some team goes out and throws them picks for, like Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett, Matt Castle. I mean, literally the list goes on and on and on. And this kid right here, Bailey Zapp, he led all of football in yards, touchdowns, etc. He just did it for a small school. He did it for Western Kentucky and had some accuracy issues. Like, he was probably one of the better quarterbacks available, but like some other ones, he doesn't have the greatest arm. He has enough of an arm, but he's not going to wow you with the way the ball comes out. But he has very good placement, and probably outside of, well, not probably, outside of Kenny Pickett, the most accurate quarterback in this draft. And that's what the Patriots like. They don't care if you can throw it 30, 40 yards down the field, because they know they're going to have games like this past season where Mac Jones threw 3 passes and they still won in Buffalo. Belichick is a mad genius, or is he just mad? We're gonna find out. But every single time we try to question that man, it always comes back to bite you, and he shows why he is the GOAT. All right, next up we have the Steelers, pick 138 overall, and the pick is in. I actually like their draft so far. Kenny Pickett in the first, George Pickens in the second, and then DeMarvin Leal. All of those guys could start for them this year. All 3 of their guys in the first 3 rounds. So let's see if they can keep that up and find themselves another potential starter here in the 4th. All right. And again, order pizza, so I will be watching. And eventually we'll have to drop out probably to go get them because it is a Saturday. So unless the security guard's down there to let them up here, I might have to go down and get it. So if I do, I know y'all will understand. I'm human and I need sustenance. All right. Chef Achilles, Najee Harris, the running back. Man, it looks like that don't, I mean, I know what he's trying to do there, but that looks like he got some African attire out of Mexico. I don't even look like anything from Africa, like the design. Or is it Aztecian? Maybe, I don't know. I'm guessing something Aztecian because it looks like he's in Mexico City. That makes sense. Dylan had a root canal on Thursday. He's going to see if he can't slide in today. But yeah, he had a root canal on Thursday, so he's just been dealing with that over the last couple of days. So we're wishing him a speedy recovery, and if nothing else, he will be back with us on Monday when he's all healed up. All right, Steelers pick has been announced. It is Calvin Austin, the third wide receiver out of Memphis. Get my notes pulled up here. Short, shifty receiver, 5'8", 170, slot receiver. Can do a lot of things. If you're watching along, he did a lot of jet sweeps, really speedy, quick, shifty receiver with some return ability. Not a bad pick for Pittsburgh. And I never doubt Pittsburgh wide receivers being drafted, especially if they're drafted late. Their first rounders don't typically work out, a la Juju Smith-Schuster, etc. But their middle round receivers, Antonio Brown, Santonio Holmes, etc., etc., etc. Emmanuel Sanders for Broncos country. He was a mid-round pick. So never, ever, ever doubt Pittsburgh mid-round wide receivers. And the Ravens pick is in. And they have taken Isaiah Likely, tight end out of Coastal Carolina. He is a decent sized tight end, 6'5, 245. So he's got the size you like. Really smooth, instinctive open field runner. This is the matchup nightmare you like to have. And nobody uses their tight ends better than Baltimore. And it seems that with the trade of Marquise Brown and the drafting of multiple tight ends in this round alone, looks to be like they are moving back towards what made Lamar Jackson an MVP. So many people wanted to talk about how the offense opened up with wide receivers like Marquise Brown doing some really good things over the last year or two. But when the Ravens were most successful under Lamar Jackson is when they were running 3 tight ends, max protect, and just allowing Lamar Jackson to do ungodly things on the football field. So it looks like Baltimore's moving back to that. Next up, we have the Packers at 140 overall. Their pick is in. And they have taken Zach Tom, a man with 2 first names you can never trust, but he is an offensive guard at a Wake Forest, 6'4", 304. He's an effective positional blocker that is best in covering up defenders. He's not a mauler. This is a pure zone scheme guy. This guy, the only type of system he's going to be successful in is a zone scheme. Luckily for him, that is exactly what Green Bay runs. So he should be a good fit. Possibly a future starter, but more likely going to be that guy that just kind of swings around the interior of the offensive line to cover up for any injuries that may occur along any team's offensive line. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens coming back up again, 36th overall. I think the Ravens actually kept all 6 of their 4th round picks. I have to go back and look at this, but I really did not see them just standing pat and taking all of those. So we have, at 110 overall, they took Daniel Falala, the offensive tackle out of Minnesota. Then at 119 overall, Jalen Armour Davis, Alabama cornerback. There's 2. 3 was 128 overall, Charlie Kolar, tight end out of Iowa State. Then at 130 overall, punter Jordan Stout out of Penn State. And then they had, all 6 of them. Then they had Isaiah Likely, the tight end out of Coastal Carolina. And now they have number 141 overall. Looks like they're going to stand pat and take that one too. All right. Pizza's in the oven. Yes, I believe he does. He just texted me not too long ago when I looked at my phone here a little bit ago. Said he was feeling a little bit better, but not quite up to being on. But if he feels better later, he will jump on. So he's already feeling better. Like I said, at the very least, you will see him again on Monday. Oh, we got Big Mama dancing in the aisle out here in her gold dress. All right. Has the pick been announced? Nope, not yet. It is in. It's like the remaining needs are center, cornerback, and defensive end. See if we can guess it. Wow, Tariq Woolen is still available? No, that's not right. Yeah, he is. Wow, that's a big corner. I know he's out of Texas San Antonio, but we've been seeing them guys go off the board. And we have Zion McCollum, another big body out of Sam Houston. I'll say Baltimore takes. Ooh, Khalil Shakir. Isn't that? That would make sense. He'd be a good Marquise Brown. Yeah, we'll say Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. Wow, they are milking this pick. Oh, they had like 3 picks coming in a row while they were on commercial break, and now they just milking this one. Can we know who Baltimore took, please? Like somebody just had a track meet in the hallway. Oh, they finally did it. Demarion Williams, the cornerback out of Houston. So they still went small school cornerback. It's definitely not the ones I would thought, but wow, I'm still surprised that Tariq Woolen is still on the board, as well as Sam Howell. Because Sam Howell was what everybody was talking about being the number 2 quarterback behind Kenny Pickens. And this boy's still sitting here at the end of round 4. And this quarterback class got to be feeling real disrespected. But it's also kind of deserved. They're just not that good. And again, I just can't believe that no team has panicked and done anything crazy. There has not been a single trade up for a quarterback yet at all. Every quarterback that's been drafted has been drafted by a team that just stayed pat and let them fall to them. Interesting draft, y'all. Definitely an interesting draft. I mean, it's what they should have done. I mean, these quarterbacks are going where they should have. It's just usually that's not what happens. Teams always panic. They always jump up and get the quarterback. But this year, everybody's like, nope, we're just not doing it. Not making those mistakes, which is good, but definitely weird. Is it weird that it's good? Yes, much definitely. Very good. All right, LA Rams are on the clock. Pick is not in yet. Let's see. They could use a nice big corner. Maybe a pass rusher since they weren't able to re sign Von Miller. I'm going to say they go Amare Barno, outside linebacker out of Virginia Tech. All right, Rams coming up. And their pick is officially in. Am I thinking right? Did the Saints not have a single 4th round pick? I was just thinking back. I don't remember announcing a Saints pick in the 4th round. Nope, they don't. And they won't. All right, looks like they're about to announce the Rams pick here. I'm going to stick with Amare out of Virginia Tech there. Outside linebacker. They need some more pass rush. He's definitely the best available outside linebacker pass rusher. Oh, a season ticket holder got the chance to come out and announce a pick. Jesse Cortez. That's pretty cool. But I guess when you pay that much, oh, nope, they go cornerback to Kobe Durant, South Carolina State. How are people still overlooking Tariq Woolen and taking these guys? Like, you're overlooking a guy that's 6'4" with 4.3 speed to take a 5'10" guy with short arms, but a 4.3 speed. Like, I mean, he's got good instincts, but he's going to be limited to inside. I don't see how he's going to be able to stack up with these big outside wide receivers at 6'4", 6'5", and being able to jump out of the building. Like, he's done some good things. He tracks the ball well, very twitchy, but I mean, overlooking a guy like Tariq that can match up with anybody, even tight ends, people are going to regret that. I think Tariq Woolen's going to be a really good one at the next level. People are sleeping on him. But, I mean, LA needed a corner. They went and got one. That was their guy. Do what you do. I mean, they just won a Super Bowl. We can't be too judgy. All right. Commercial break time. Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Pick is in. They've had pretty good. Treylon Burks in the first round, Nicholas Petit-Frere in the offensive tackle in the third, and Malik Willis in the third. Those are my favorite picks for them so far. And again, we spoke earlier, Hassan Haskins, big running back out of Michigan. I almost said Oregon. Good supplement there to King Henry. So, pretty decent draft for the Titans, even though they had to give up A.J. Brown, which is going to hurt. He did a lot to help out Ryan Tannehill in that offense. The fact that he's gone, Treylon Burks got some really big shoes to fill. We are still in commercial. I hate this, man. But you'll have pick after pick after pick, and then all of a sudden it gets slowed down because ESPN's got to pay the bills. You jerks. You're not paying my bills. Let's get some picks in. We got a new viewer. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming in. Whoever you are, if you leave a comment, I can give you a shout out. But regardless of who you are, we appreciate you. If you do me a favor and show some love, give us a like. Be greatly appreciated. All right, man in the arena, Tom Brady, final episode. Man, how is that still going? That's been going for like 5 months, I swear. But my thing is like, I can't watch Tom Brady's stuff. Like, I love Peyton Manning's work since he's retired because it's not about him. Like Peyton's places, Eli's places, all the little places shows that he has on ESPN Plus, none of them are about the Mannings. None of them are about Peyton. It's about football. It's about the history. It's about the places that matter. Tom Brady is just me. I can't do it. I understand the ego. I understand the cockiness, but I'm not going to sit there and watch hours of a man stroking his own ego. Like, that's all he does. All the respect in the world, brother. You're the GOAT, all those things. But I'm just not a person that's going to sit there and watch hours upon hours of a documentary where you're just simply stroking your own ego. I'm not expecting you to be humble when you're that great, but I don't want to hear just, I did this, I did that, blase. I just can't do it. Everything that Tom Brady has come out, it's about Tom Brady. It's never about the people around him. It's never about the people he cares about or even the sport he cares about. It is 100% about Tom Brady. So if you like that stuff, you like that stuff. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying personally, I can't watch that junk. It looks like we do have another pick. Final pick of the 4th round. Man, people are going to be jacking me with these names. Chigoziem Okonkwo. He is a 6'3", 238-pound matchup nightmare out of Maryland as a tight end. Another guy I would have loved to have seen in Denver. But again, I guess they just love themselves some Dulcich out of UCLA. What in the world is on the screen? We have a man in a dinosaur costume on stage. Why? Just why? Ugh. The things people do to debase themselves just so that they can get 5 minutes of fame and they will never be on TV again. It's like, was it worth it? I hope it was. If it was, okay. And the Commanders, finally, Sam Howell is off the board. He is a very talented quarterback, but he has a tendency to run faster than what you would like. My thing is, though, you need to talk to the coaches. Was he told, hey, we're going to give you one read. If it's not there, go. If that's the case, you can't knock the kid. But he has a lot of Russell Wilson in his game. I really like this kid. I think he could be special if put in the right position. I don't know if that's the Washington Commanders because we know just how dysfunctional that franchise is, but they do have a great, great head coach in Ron Rivera that is probably one of the more underrated coaches for what he's been able to do with some of the rosters that poor man has been given. So I think he's in, and I think Sam Howell's in a good situation. He doesn't have to come in and be the guy. They got Carson Wentz. They can ride with him for a year or two while Sam Howell learns the game, learns how to be a professional. So not a terrible position for Sam Howell to go into, but also not the most ideal. So far, there has finally been 6 quarterbacks taken off the board. Half of them came in the third, one in the fourth, and then now one in the fifth. So next up is the Kansas City Chiefs at 145 overall. The Broncos, next pick is 152 overall. And Nika, your Saints actually have a pick in this round. It is 161 overall. The Broncos pick right after that, actually, again at 162 overall for their second, 5th round pick. And then they have a third 5th round pick, the last pick in the draft, 36th overall, or not in the draft, in the round, 179th overall, 36th in the round. It's a compensatory pick for losing a free agent last year. So the Broncos have 3 picks in this round. The Saints only have the 1 at 18 overall, and they haven't had a pick since the 3rd round. They did not have a pick in since the I think it was the middle of the 3rd round, and they're not picking again until the middle of the 5th. So, due to their wheeling and dealing, that's part of the Eagles trade. James just watched his documentary. I'm sure he did. Again, like I said, I'm not judging anybody if that's your cup of tea, that's your guy, whatever. I just personally can't watch somebody just talk about themselves for hours and hours and stroke their own ego and do it arrogantly. It's one thing not to be humble, but be arrogant on top of it is I just can't do that. And it's kind of like counterproductive because I really liked Tom Brady when him and Paton had that little golf tournament with Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods. He really seemed to be a lot more personable, and he has his tendencies to be a little funny on social media. I don't know why he doesn't seem to want to bring that side of him out more, because that's what endears people to like Eli and Peyton Manning and Pat McAfee and guys of that nature. It's the goofy, fun, loving personality that just doesn't take themselves too seriously. And we all know just how unbelievably seriously Tom Brady takes himself, and I just can't handle it. The Chiefs pick is in and announced. They took Darian Kennard, offensive tackle out of Kentucky. We have another offensive lineman off the board. He stands at 6'5", 322, so big guy from a small school. He's a right tackle. Right tackles just don't get no respect in this league. That's why he's down here. But he is actually a possible late steal. He has all of the tools that you want from a right tackle to become a top tier starter in the league. So the Chiefs, you jerks, just might have got a steal. I don't like y'all, and I hope you suck. So that's how I feel. Oh, my food is finally on the way. Yay. Okay. No text yet to go track it down or anything. So just a heads up, food's on the way. So I may have to take a break here. Well, I will have to take a break here soon, unless by some miracle they're able to get up here. Maybe they run into security or something. I'll take a quick break and then y'all can watch me eat pizza while I talk football. All right, the Giants are up next, 146 overall. Their pick is in. They still need a lot: QB, wide receiver, tight end, guard, center, linebacker, cornerback. But that's what happens when you have a team that sucks and is picking, number 2 overall and all that junk. Um, and the Giants suck. So honestly, this would probably be one of the better places for Tariq Woolen to go. He really would fit that Joe Judge team and defense. But again, he's just been sitting out here languishing with his 6'4", 4'3", 40 having self. I really do not understand why he is falling so far. But Giants actually have the next 2 picks, 146 and 147 overall. So let's see how they work those back-to-back picks. And we will find out after a commercial break because got to milk it like a cow. No guests coming yet either. Should have a couple more guests for y'all today. Just a matter of when they get their lazy bums in here. Oh, that might be them. Bear with me, guys. All right, guys, that was my food. So bear with me. I will be right back. I'm just going to go run down and get this pizza. All right, y'all. I am back. Making sure everything is working still. All right. So I've got my pizza, got my drink, got my recharge. Let's catch up on picks. All right. So I had a few while I was gone. We had Micah McFadden, inside linebacker out of Indiana. Little undersized, 6'1", 240. a little bit more instinctive than athletic. A little bit of short area burst that allows him to shoot gaps, but not a guy you want chasing running backs and tight ends around the field. A little bit more of an old school linebacker, which Joe Judge and them are kind of old school, kind of fits the mold, a little versatile, work inside, outside, you know, so makes sense for a Bill Belichick protege. Then their second of their back to backs was DJ Davidson, the defensive tackle out of Arizona State. Who is blowing up my phone? Sorry, guys. Oh, my goodness, people. Y'all know what I'm doing. Your crap can wait. DJ Davidson, 6'3, 327. Defensive tackle, again, out of Arizona State, with the New York Giants at 147 overall. He definitely has the size, upper body strength that you want from a defensive tackle. Really fits the mold of a zero technique, which is what the New York Giants need. Their run defense was absolutely atrocious last year. So, good guy to go ahead and slot in. Again, doesn't have much pass rush. So, why he's going so late in the draft here in the 5th round. Then we had at 148 overall Khalil Shakir, wide receiver out of Boise State. They ended up going just a few picks after I tried giving him up to the Commanders. He's a decent size, 6 foot, 196. Again, instinctive open field runner, perfect slot receiver. Should fit in well up there with Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley and company up there in Buffalo. Then we had the Washington Commanders at 149 overall take Cole Turner, tight end out of Nevada. Big target, 6'7", 250, decent speed, ran a 4.6, good feel for the pockets in the zone. So really good possession tight end that can stretch the field occasionally up the seam. What is that that they are building? I don't know what they're showing that they're building in Vegas. It was a weird looking building. But anyways, then we had another defensive tackle, Thomas Booker out of Stanford, go to Houston at 150 overall. More of a pass rush, 3-4 defensive end in a 2-gap scheme, or the zero technique in an even front or a 4-3 front. Now we have the Atlanta Falcons at 151 overall. While I wait on that, I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to hear me smacking. I'm going to eat you some pizza. So I'm sorry if I make y'all hungry, but I am starving. All right, looks like the pick is in and announced. It is Tyler Algier, running back at a BYU. He is a 5'11", 224-pound back. So big back, good foot speed for his size. He runs a 4.5 40. So plenty enough speed when you're that big and going to get the consistent 5 to 10 yards on just about every play. Probably not going to bust off many 60, 70, 80-yard runs. Those don't happen very often anyways, unless you're Chris Johnson back in the day with Tennessee and having a 4.2 740. That's a big difference. All right, Broncos at 152. Pick is in. Oh, so that means we had a trade. I just realized that. The Falcons picked Tyler Algier. That should have been the Saints. So did they trade completely out? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's the first Broncos pick. Saints haven't came up yet, so no trade. All right, so we are good there. Broncos selection is in. They're at 152 overall. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Again, I've been talking about Tariq Woolen. He's a RAS score guy, high RAS score, size, height, height, speed, size combo. Words are hard all of a sudden for me the last couple of days. I don't know what's going on with me. But we have a safety taken, DeLauren Turner Yell out of Oklahoma. Small safety in the mold of a Kareem Jackson. He's 5'10", 197, but he's fluid, great closing burst and recovery speed. He's capable of matching up with some slot receivers and smaller H-backs, but he does give up too much size versus most tight ends. He's aggressive and a ball hawk. So he's definitely going to fit the mold of this defense. Let's go ahead and look up his RAS scores. Got a feeling he's going to be up there pretty high. So Turner Yell. That's a heck of a name. Hyphenated Turner Yell. Not actually that great of a RAS score. Did run a 4.47, but actually mostly because of his size and a poor broad jump. And they don't have anything else, three cone shuttle, etc. 7.46. Looks like people are going with the KJ Jenkins, Kurt Coleman, Jimmy Ward comparison. None of those guys were really great. They were just kind of solid. But this guy's faster than all of them. So my guess is that he's going to be a top special teams performer. They're probably really not looking at him to become like a starter or anything. If he does, that's a bonus. But this is really just a special teams pick because this special teams is so horrible in Denver. The Denver Broncos have had one of the worst, if not the worst, special teams unit in the league for a long time. And there he finally goes. Tariq Woolen has went to the Seattle Seahawks, which makes perfect sense. He's their kind of cornerback. He's that big-bodied guy, but he's even faster than probably anybody they've had for a while. So should be kind of fun to watch Tariq Woolen in that defense up there in Seattle. So next up is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are on the clock at 154 overall. All right, and their pick is not in yet, so maybe a while. Yep. All right, so let's see who Philly might be picking here. Hazard a guess. All right. I just got a couple more messages. Want to make sure it wasn't one of my guests. Possibility. Yeah, Seattle Seahawks have had a pretty good draft. Charles Cross in the first round, Boye Mafe. Second, Ken Walker the third in the second, Abraham Lucas in the third, O-tackle out of Washington State. Kobe Bryant, cornerback out of Cincinnati, and Tariq Woolen, cornerback out of UTSA. This could be the rebuild of the Legion of Boom 2.0. They got a lot of big-bodied freak athletes out there for the defense. It could be fun. It could be a lot funner for Seattle Seahawks fans than what they thought after they traded away Russell Wilson. Seems like Pete Carroll and company have really kind of turned the corner, but We are going to go ahead and join ESPN in this commercial break. I will be right back. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Let us see. Looks like we missed a couple of picks here while we were away. Figured I'd take my time to go ahead and get the barrel full here, so y'all ain't got to sit there and watch me eat. It's just rude. But only a couple here. We had Snoop Connor, Snoop D-O-double-N, C-O-double-N, Snoop Con. He's a big back, 5'10", 222, one cut zone runner. Should work out well there in Jacksonville and give them a nice thunder option to Travis Etienne's speed. Then the Dallas Cowboys at 155 overall took Matt Waletzko, offensive tackle out of North Dakota, 6'8", 312-pound zone blocking scheme fitting offensive lineman. Not really what Dallas does. Another one of those curious fits, but Dallas has always done a pretty good job of finding offensive linemen, so won't try to question him too much. Good luck there, Waletzko, with that absolutely abhorrent fan base. Then we have Jerome Ford out of Cincinnati, a running back, 13 overall in the round, 156 overall in the draft, 5'11", 210-pound running back out of Cincinnati. He's kind of a pick and slide runner who is quick feet and smooth in changing directions. Not the most physical of backs, plenty of speed, plenty of moves and juke. It can, but has enough power that he's going to get through arm tackles. If you wrap him up, he's usually going to go down. But if you're just throwing your arms out there, he'll usually run right through it. Then next up, we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 157 overall. Let's see. And the Broncos yet to come up at 162. Saints are at 161. And then again, the Broncos have a third pick at 179 overall, compensatory pick. The other ones are, let's see, the one at 152 was their original pick. Then at 162, that was a trade. That was part of the Von Miller trade there for the fifth rounder. And then again, 179 overall is a compensatory pick. Sure, I'm caught up on comments. Yes, I am. Oh, sorry, ding. Just making sure it wasn't a guest. See, we are still in round 5, 157 overall. Got 2 rounds left. Just over halfway done with the 5th round here. Since y'all aren't here, looks like I just dropped off the last one y'all have here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a break. When I see somebody else jump in, I will jump back for y'all, or when the Broncos come up here in a couple of picks. All right, guys. While I was in break, I got an offer I can't refuse because all of my guests have canceled on me. So it's just going to be me here, and it's boring just being here with myself. So I'm going to move over to Bird Gang Sports Media Network and go on with Bird Gang and them, so I can have some people to talk to. So if y'all see this, whatever, go on over there. That's where I'll be. I'm going to go ahead and end this one and then move over there so I have some people to banter back and forth with, and we can have some more fun on over on Bird Gang Sports Media Network. So for the Breakin Broncos podcast, the answer is 42. Don't question the blue.